how many schools that our children, that our grandchildren are going to who has a fluoride removal filter on their water fountain? Okay. How many of us even know to have a fluoride filter for your drinking or bathing purposes? Right? Very few. Most of us kind of know that maybe it's a good idea. But you know, I like to point out something horrible. There is a difference between getting the data from me and getting up and doing something about it. There is this unfortunate but a fact of life. You now are educated. You have been educated. You now carry the responsibility to educate all your patients, your family members, all those teenagers who think they can live forever and drink tap water and do just fine, and mommy and daddy are stupid. But you know, they're the one that's stupid. And unfortunately, they're the ones that are going to be carrying the future on their shoulders, whether they know it or not. And it's really up to us to bring the education home and impress upon them. I try to get my dentist not to put fluoride on my teeth. Now, I happen to have a background. I used to be a dental surgery tech back in the US Navy 40 years ago. And so I know the ins and outs of a dentist. And I sat down there getting my teeth cleaned, and I says, I don't want any rodent-killing agent in my mouth. And he says, okay. And as he starts cleaning my teeth and doing his thing, they come out with some pumice. I go, oh, isn't there some fluoride mixed in that pumice? Oh yeah, sorry. He puts it down. And a few minutes later, he decides to rinse my mouth, and I go, oh! Isn't there some fluoride in your mouthwash? Puts down the side. You know. He tried 3 times to put fluoride in my mouth after he agreed not to put it in my mouth. I mean, this guy is just incredible. Now, on that chart it says, causes cancer, we just talked about that. Lowers your IQ. Now, later on there will be a little sheet passing around, and there is this report called the Harvard report. In this report, they document that when you have fluoride in your drinking water, it will lower your IQ by 7 points. But it gets way worse than that. Most of our waters, because you remember, fluoride comes from the heavy metal plating industry, and one of the important elements to make knives sharp and hard is you have to dip it in what? Fluoride. No. Arsenic. Arsenic dipping tanks. Okay? Arsenic really makes a knife hard and sharp. Okay, and by the way, arsenic is really wonderful. If you ever go into a metal plating industry, look for the guys who have the nicest looking hair. They will be the guys who work with the arsenic dipping tank. And I don't care what race, they will all have this incredible good looking hair. And I have studied metallurgy, so I have actually been there and seen this. So when you add arsenic, which by the way, if you go to the United States Geological Survey and just take a look at the arsenic contamination in groundwater, this is natural. It covers the entire United States with a few specks here and there missing. So naturally there is arsenic in the water. Then the fluoridation process adds more arsenic to the water. And guess what happens when you put arsenic mixed with fluoride and you drink it? How many points in IQ do you think it might drop? Try 15. Now we're talking about significant numbers here. And this is why I says, how many people here goes to a place a week ago and you cannot remember how to get back there again? Your IQ got lowered. So when I'm giving you some data here, you realize you're going to have to overcome the fluoride that's already in you, the apathy that you already have. But you live with it so you don't really notice it. And this is why I brought up the intention of Vietnam, right? People rioted. People did something about it. People protested. You got my data now. It takes you, as a spiritual being, some serious intention to take what you have learned and do something about it. It's not going to be easy because you are going to be overcoming fluoride because it comes in your vegetables. They spray your vegetables. Even if it's certified organic, they got to keep it fresh. Right? You're getting it every way. Shy of you planting your own vegetables, the odds are there is fluoride added to your vegetables. There's arsenic added to your vegetables. Right? You wonder why the school teachers are having such a nasty time in teaching the students to learn something. Well, they have to overcome a fluoridated child in front of them who is growing and being stupefied. And if that wasn't bad enough,